Next, we'll model these platforms which will support our circuit playground. Not only will it support it, but it's going to provide our fastening mechanism that's going to hold it in place along with our cover. And the way this works is that we'll insert an M3 nut in here and a bolt on top which will hold everything together. So let's go ahead and begin. We'll go back to our current design, and the first thing we need to do is to rotate our circuit playground so that these two connectors are facing each other. So to do that, I'm just going to hover on my browser here on my circuit playground, left or right click and go to move, and I'll get the widget that'll automatically go on my circuit playground. Now I'm just going to take this handle and move it over -90 degrees and click OK. Now I'm going to rotate it so that we're looking at the top view this way. And what I want to do is project this circle here, just the one that's straight up and down. I'm going to project that to this surface over here on our bottom case. So first we'll start with a sketch. So I'm going to create a sketch on that top surface of that bottom enclosure. Click capture position. And we'll hit P for project, and we'll project in that hole. So if you just hover over that hole at the bottom, it'll project right through, and we'll click OK. And now we can get rid of our circuit playground. We'll even get rid of the bodies, and we don't need to see the battery charger. Let's just get rid of everything. Okay, so let's start with, we'll go from a top view, and we'll begin with a center rectangle. So we'll go to sketch, rectangle, center rectangle, and we'll start it right at the center of that circle. And we're going to make this 10 by 10. So we'll hit 10, tab over and type 10 again, hit enter. And now we can click on stop sketch, and we'll lose our sketches. So we'll just bring it back on. We don't need to see that sketch 2. We just need to see our current sketch, which in my screen it's sketch 5. We'll hit E for extrude, grab that profile and just bring it up. We don't see anything, so we'll click on bodies. And we're going to bring this up to the bottom of our circuit playground. So let's bring that back into view by clicking here. And we're going to look at this dialog box, and for distance, we're going to go to object, and the object is going to be the bottom of that circuit playground. So we'll just select it. And we're going to click here where it says chain faces. We're going to go to extend faces and click OK. Make sure the operation is join. Click OK, and there's our extrusion. Okay, we don't need to see the circuit playground now, so I'll remove it. And now we need to create the insert where we're going to put in that hex nut. So to do this, we have to know ahead of time what our measurements are going to be. So for the hex nut, I measured it at 2.4 millimeters in thickness and 5.5 millimeters in height. So we're going to need to make our rectangle a little bit bigger than that so it can fit. So we'll create a sketch on this surface, and we'll start with another center rectangle. So we'll go down to rectangle, center rectangle. I'm just going to create it skewed for now over here. And remember, our height I said was 2.4, so we'll make that a little bit bigger here. We'll go 0.2 millimeters bigger, so we'll go 2.6. I'll hit tab, and our width was 5.5. I'm actually going to go 6 on this to give us a little wiggle room, and hit enter. And now I need to constrain this to the center. Since I know this is right on the middle of our circuit playground, I can use our origin. If that's not the case, we can simply add a midpoint here, because I do want this to be constrained to the midpoint here. So I can easily just go in and grab a point from the sketch menu and put that point right on the middle. And I know it's the middle because it gives me that little triangle. And I'll hit escape, and now I can grab our horizontal/vertical constraint, click on the center of that center rectangle, and click on my midpoint there on that triangle, and that's going to constrain my rectangle to the midpoint. Next, I'll hit D for dimension, and I'm going to dimension the top of this rectangle from the top of my wall and make that 2 millimeters, and hit enter. Okay, so now I can click stop sketch, and what I need to do is extrude this rectangle inwards. But I need to know how far to extrude it in, because I need to have my hex nut align with my bolt when I stick it in there. So to do that, I'm going to create or to find out what that distance is, we'll create a sketch on the top surface here of our platform we extruded. And I'm going to bring in my polygon tool. So we'll go to sketch and we're going to draw a polygon. So we'll do the circumscribe polygon. We're going to reference the center of this circle here. So you'll see I get that little blue circle. Click on it and I'm going to drag out. And I'm going to purposely make it skewed like this. So just add an angle. Actually, let me do that again, because if this is your first time using the polygon tool, I just want to show you a few things. Let me go to sketch, polygon, circumscribe polygon, redraw it. And just notice if you hit tab, you can change your number of sides. So I can hit 3, for example, make it a triangle, or I can hit 8, make it an, oops, not 38, 8 and make it a octagon. But we want a hexagon because we're using a hex nut, so I'll make it 6. Okay, so I'm going to make this, notice I can lock it into place here. You can kind of snap it into different orientations. But like I said, I'm going to make it skewed here, and I'm not going to give it a dimension yet. I'm just going to purposely do it like that because I want to come in with my horizontal constraint and constrain this line to be, or horizontal / vertical. Make this line vertical by clicking on it, and now that's completely vertical. Now I'm going to dimension this out, so D for dimension, and between the flats on an M3 nut, you're looking at a distance of 5.5 millimeters. So I'm going to type that in. Okay, so now I know that, or I can find out the distance between this point and this edge. So I'm going to, let's hit escape, D for dimension, click on this edge, and then I'm going to click on this point and come out. And that's showing, it says it's over constraint. That's okay. I just want to see what that is. It says it's 8.175 millimeters. Okay, so that's good to know. What I'm going to do is click stop sketch, come back to this profile, E for extrude, select it, go in. I'm going to give myself a little wiggle room here, so I'm going to go bigger or more than 8.175. I'm actually going to go up, and we'll do a negative 8.3. Make sure the operation is cut, and we'll click OK. Okay, now we can take a look at that, and let's untoggle sketches.